Leg 9 of the 2017-18 Volvo Ocean Race proved to be critical in the overall standings, and it was a crucial stage for each of the team's campaigns. With double points up for grabs, the teams fought for every one of the 3,300 miles in the sprint across the North Atlantic from Newport to Cardiff.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a worry that Brunel's got separation from us. It could work out well for us, and it might not. I mean, 8-day leg, the whole way around the world, and 24 hours in, we're normally all inside each other within a few miles, and here we are, turn the tides on 100 odd miles that way, and these guys are 80 miles that way, so yeah, she's all on, but we'll just stick to our guns and see how we go.
Just over 24 hours into the leg, the fleet split into two groups. The southerly quartet of Team Brunel, Team AkzoNobel, Vestas 11th Hour Racing, and Sunhunkai Scallywag chased stronger winds to the east, while Mapfre, Dongfeng Race Team, and Turn the Tide on Plastic were looking for a more direct route to the finish by heading north. 2 days into the leg, Team Brunel reported they had struck an object in the water, damaging their port rudder and forcing crew member Kyle Langford to conduct running repairs while the boat continued racing.
Yeah, so last night we hit something when we broke the tiller arm. So we fixed that, and then in the daylight today we actually saw what the damage was to the rudder. And there was a massive chunk out of the leading edge, and then there was also a big scratch down the side of the rudder. So I just went over now. We're going upwind with quite a lot of heel, just to have a look to make sure structurally it's okay, and also just to try and fare in the damage that was done with some sandpaper. And kind of did what I could whilst getting hammered by the waves.
2 days later, and the fleet began to converge. The southerly option had paid dividends, with Team Brunel taking the lead, Team AkzoNobel in second, and Vestas 11th Hour Racing third. A powerful low-pressure system to the west provided fast and furious sailing conditions. With winds increasing to 30 knots plus and a relatively calm sea state, boat speeds began to soar.
Yeah, it's funny, I think when you think of these conditions, you're always like, this is the sort of stuff you want to do, and then actually when you're in them, they're really not fun. They're cool for the first watch, for the first couple of hours, but then they get pretty tedious pretty quickly. You're soaking wet in the bunk's about the only good spot, but even in the bunk you're getting thrown in and out of your bunk all the time. On deck you're basically getting really properly thrown around, and then driving is basically 2 hours of having your eyeballs assailed by salt water. So.
As the average speeds began to climb to the high 20s, the 24-hour distance record for the Volvo Ocean 65 class appeared to be ripe for the taking. The 550.8-mile benchmark had been set by Ian Walker's Abu Dhabi Ocean Racing in the 2014-15 edition. At the head of the fleet, Bala-Becking and Team Brunel were the first to blow past the record, logging 576.3 miles in 24 hours.
Apparently we broke in Abu Dhabi's old speed run, I think it was 550. I actually don't know how much it is, so hopefully nobody else will break our record, because it's of course always nice to have a record, but records are going to be broken.
But their Dutch rivals, Team AkzoNobel, quickly went one better, smashing the VO65 class record with a distance of 602.5 miles, and in doing so, they set a new race record, usurping Torben Grail's mark of 596.6. That was set aboard Ericsson 4 in 2008-09, an achievement made even more remarkable given that was established in the bigger and more powerful Volvo 70 class.
Akzo said 601 miles now, 24 hours.
601? What if I told you to pick the all-time Volvo record? Volvo 70 as well. Be there if there's more.
I would have bet the house you couldn't do 600 in one of these boats. Just isn't possible. Just so happy for the whole team. Everything has to align perfectly to bust a record at this level, and to break it the size that we have is, it could be broken again, but it's going to stay for a while, I think.
With less than 600 miles to run, the sailors finally received a break as the fleet transitioned through a ridge of high pressure and wind speeds receded. But tension was mounting for Spain's Mapfre. Fifth on the water meant their tenuous grasp of the overall race lead was now at stake.
Yeah, we're near the end of this transatlantic now, and we're sitting in fifth. Vestas not far away in fourth, so we're obviously doing everything we can to try to catch them. Obviously, we're hoping AkzoNobel win. Currently, we'll drop to second overall. So, yeah, I mean, we lose our overall lead, but it's all still to play for. 2 legs to go. 2 points in it is really, really nothing.
8 days into the leg, the fleet passed the famed Fastnet Rock off Ireland's south coast. The Dutch rivals of Team Brunel and AkzoNobel engaged in attacking duel all the way up the South Wales coastline and across the finish in the Bristol Channel. Bala Becking and his Team Brunel crew held their nerve, going on to claim a vital victory and putting them in contention for the overall race win.
We're tremendously happy, but I think most important is that we sailed again a very good leg, and we sailed very consistent. So that's, I think, in the end we always know that's key to become successful. But yeah, we've proven now that we were not just a one-day fly.
Simeon Tienpon's Team AkzoNobel settled for second place. Their legacy will be in setting a new race benchmark for distance sailed in 24 hours.
No, absolutely. I mean, you know, sometimes, of course, it's sour to become second, but sometimes it's alright when you know the guy you're trying to beat is giving you the best he can as well. And I can only express how proud I am of the guys on board. I mean, everyone gave it to give everything, and yeah, we broke a world record, so, you know, one to remember.
China's Dongfeng race team secured the final podium spot, taking back the overall race lead from Spain's Mapfre. Just a single point now separates the arch rivals, with 2 legs to go.
Yes, it's not too bad. It's a very short lead, and we have a new player making a good coming back for the first place. Is Brunel, only 3 points behind us now, so it's going to be a huge fight and big fight with Mapfre and Brunel on the next 2 legs.
Scoring 4th with Charlie Enright's Vestas 11th Hour Racing, with Xabi Fernandez and Mapfre a disappointing 5th. Rounding out the table was Di Cafari's Turn the Tide on Plastic, bringing home local Welsh hero Bleddyn Mon in 6th place, while David Witt and Sun Hung Kai Scallywag were 7th. This marks a special homecoming for the UK sailors. It's the first time in 12 years that the race has returned to its origins in Britain.
It's really nice. I mean, it's really nice to be a skipper lead a team in for sure, but it's really nice the race has come back. It's how I got into sailing, like watching the race come in and out of the UK, and I think it's quite important. You know, we have a lot of British sailors involved, and it's really nice to have them come home.
Ahead, 2 weeks of rest and recovery in Cardiff before the fleet sprints north on leg 10, a 1,300-mile dash around the British Isles, through the North Sea, and to a finish in Gothenburg, Sweden, beginning on June 10th.